3 what's, what isn't, what can it do for me?
felt like we had quite a few runners on base and just couldn't find that timely hit, couldn't find a hole. We do put balls in play, just couldn't make it happen. We had a couple bunts that we didn't get down. One pretty early in the game that it sticks out to me. Runner on first, we don't move him over. I think he ends up over there somehow, some way, but I think Spencer Fox ends up putting a ball into the outfield that possibly pushes another run across. I know we had one later in the game with a runner on second and just didn't get the job done. And it is what it is. I'm not going to sit and dwell on it a whole bunch. Just super proud of these kids. Never gave in for 9 innings, and that's what we preach to them day in and day out. Just don't give up. Just don't give up. Keep fighting until they can't tell you that you can't go anymore. Dude's a competitor, and in anything. It's not just this sport. You watch him do all of his work, everything that he's done this year. It's always with a purpose. And he fights his tail off inning to inning. And he does get a runner on base. He almost seems to not only become better, a little sharper with this stuff, but he can't speak highly enough of him.
Facing really good competition for the last few weeks, and I'm just really proud of the way that we've all battled. And we were talking before this weekend, and we know that the only thing we can do is just go out there and play as hard as we can. And for us to be able to come out here and compete with a good team like that for 9 innings really just says a lot about our team and our culture.
Going up against Josh, and what type of experience do you guys get from that?
Oh, I thought he was a fantastic pitcher. I mean, it wasn't just the velocity from him. It was the sharp break, the ability to throw the breaking ball on any count. The guys, they always move up a level when you can be an any pitch, any count kind of guy. And he worked inside, he worked outside, and we had a lot of strikeouts looking, but I also think he was making his pitches. I would see the catcher set up high a couple times, and boom, he hit him right there. So you got to scratch and claw and do everything you can to get a run like that, to get a run against a guy like that. But our pitchers also did a great job too. We gave up 1 run, and that was on a walk. So we got to give our pitchers and defense a ton of credit because they got the job done today too.
Senior that I'm super proud of. Spent 4 years together. Seeing him blossom into what he's become today, where he started as a sophomore, up at the varsity level with us, to where he's at today. It's just a testament to him and all the hard work that he's put in. I'm just glad to see that it's paid off.
Our relationship has been awesome the last 4 years. I'm extremely grateful to have him on my side, and I know that I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for Coach McNeely. So I'm just super thankful for him and all the coaches I've had over the years. Been really lucky today. Yeah, I felt pretty confident in everything, and I knew I had to. I knew that they were going to hit fastballs. If you left them in the zone, just like every team we've been playing the last couple weeks, we knew they were going to be aggressive, so I knew I had to be good with all my pitches. And I felt good out there. I was confident in our bats, so I knew that we were going to compete. And arm felt pretty good today.
This group of seniors has been so fun to be around. It's just you're going to usher in a new group of guys next year. But I think as a head guy, you're always going to remember that first full group. We went through a lot. They get introduced to me brand new, and where we started to where we're at today, man, it's a night and day difference. They've really set the bar and set the table for all the groups to come. Not just the kids that are in the program right now, but for all those little kids that were out there, from the community running around today.
It means a lot to, inspire just the next generation and let them know what we're about. Hopefully we can keep it going.
I mean, like you said, inspire people, all the little kids that come out here and watch us, like this weekend, for example, we were once them. We inspired to be here. We were led by example on teams above us making a run, and you just sit there and you want to be them. So being that inspiration to the kids sitting in the crowd, it means everything.
Miles, what's it been like catching Josh?
Amazing. I mean, can't put it into words. I mean, to think that I caught him for a full year. I mean, did pretty well together. And now I get to go sit at home and watch him on TV. I mean, can't really ask for anything more. I mean, I'll always be able to say I caught him. The farther he goes, the more I'm going to brag about it. So it feels great.
You made him who he was, right?
Miles has been my catcher for the last 10 years. Ever since we were 8 years old, he's always been the guy that I trust the most behind the plate. And just to see our relationship grow over the years, and to see us both grow as baseball players, I've been super, super grateful to have him. Extremely blessed to have a guy that I can trust back there. And it's really cool to see the way that he's progressed throughout high school and become the leader that he is, and can't say enough about him.
What has Coach McNeely meant to both of you guys?
I mean, like Josh said, everything. None of us would be where we're at without him. And not just sitting here talking about baseball either. I mean, his work ethic is great and everything. He's always one step ahead of everything, and it just teaches us to be the same way, not just one step ahead of everything in baseball, but in life. Always playing for the worst, but hope for the best, and just kind of let it go with the flow. When you get in the big problem, that's when you got to solve it. But until you get there, just keep going with the flow. Like I said, try to get one step ahead of the game, and he's taught us that since the day we stepped in the gym as freshmen.
He's not just like a great coach, like he said, but he's a great role model, and we definitely would not be where we are without him.
It just proves to everybody, in our community that it can be done. We were probably by far, I don't know what the numbers were, but we're probably the smallest team here as far as enrollment-wise goes. But to show those people out there that it's not impossible, it can be done. And they kind of hinted on it a little bit, but to get here, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of work, a lot of hard work. Sometimes some hurt feelings a little bit, but if you just continue to show up day in and day out, never give up on yourself, always try to get better day to day, that eventually it's going to pay off for you. We've been pretty blessed the last 2 or 3 years with some really good guys behind the plate. These guys, we talk about situations, who we have coming up. We have a scouting report that we talk about the night before, but I've always trusted what he's done. I've always trusted our catchers in the past to get it done and be able to call pitches. They're out there seeing the game. The knowledge that we have given them. And I think, to me as a head coach, if I don't give that trust to those guys, then really, am I really doing my job correctly? So he's been fantastic behind the plate all year. He really has, calling the game, handling the pitches. Every once in a while we might give him a suggestion just based off some charts, but for a high school kid, a high school catcher to get behind the plate and do what he does, it's unbelievable.
He's always called all the games, so we know each other really well by now, and he knows where I like to throw. So usually whenever I'm shaking pitches off, it's usually just to mess up the batter, because he already knows what I want to throw. So that's definitely progressed over the years, and just having somebody behind the plate that I can trust like him, there's nothing like it. Super grateful.
And Josh, there were times where he pitched backwards today. There was times that he let the fastball loose and ran it past him. It's these two guys right here sitting next to me. The credit goes to them.